MotoGP kicked back into life in Qatar, and already the 2024 season is shaping up to be a tasty one. Last year's title contenders got off to a winning start, with Jorge Martin winning the first Tissot sprint of the year, with then back-to-back reigning champion Pecco Bagnaia doing Pecco things and pulling off a signature Sunday rebound to take victory in the Grand Prix. While perhaps the winners weren't exactly much of a surprise, the pace at which they won was staggeringly fast. Before racing action even got underway, the lap record was firmly kicked aside, with Martin's 150.789 pole lap blitzing Luca Marini's lap record from just 3.5 months earlier by a whole second. That insane pace continued into the sprint, as across the 10 flying laps that Martin did in that sprint, his average lap time would have put him 11th on the grid last year. That stunning pace meant for a sprint that was over 11 seconds faster than the one in 2023. As expected, that incredible tempo transferred to the GP the next day too, with Pecco crossing the line with a race time that was 14 seconds faster than Fabio Di Giannantonio's race-winning time from last season. With the pace moving on so much, it's a testament to the work that every single team has done over the winter to improve their bikes for 2024 and make existing 2023 bikes even faster. One rider that possibly wasn't given as much hype as they should during pre-season was Brad Binder. The South African proved that his 4th place in the championship last year is only a starting point. He pushed both Martin and then Bagnaia all the way during the sprint and the race, showing that once it comes to race time, KTM know how to click into gear. And he wasn't the only non-Ducati in the mix over the weekend too. Aprilia's Aleix Espargaro qualified in the middle of the front row, proving their speed once again, and then he backed it up in the sprint too, crossing the line 3rd and just 3/4 of a second off winner Martin. While it didn't go to plan on Sunday due to an unforeseen problem, on Saturday night Aleix's competitors were tipping him as the favourite to win the race on Sunday, due to the Aprilia appearing to hang on to its tyre life a little better than the rest. And then of course we have to come to Marc Marquez. Making his debut on the Ducati, he was probably one of the 2 riders that everyone's eyes were on the closest in Qatar. We'll come to the other one next. The 8-time world champion, after the years of struggles at Honda, is back on a machine that allows him to ride at the very front, and that he was. While podiums eluded him on both days, if it wasn't for a small mistake late on in the sprint, he might just have pinched one at the end. And while he was applying late pressure in the GP too, a pair of 4ths for the weekend would have to do. No silverware just yet, but an incredibly successful return for the rider that is MotoGP's past, present, and maybe future. If Marc Marquez is to be MotoGP's future, he'll undoubtedly have Pedro Acosta to deal with. And what a debut weekend it was for Pedro. A rookie running that kind of pace in MotoGP's most competitive field ever, it just shouldn't be possible. Directly through into Q2, qualifies 8th, takes 8th in the sprint and less than 5 seconds off the winner, and then in the GP, well, what more can you say? Yes, Pedro did cook his rear tyre, but a rookie managed to run that kind of pace alongside the titans of MotoGP for a large part of his debut. There are 9 more weekends for Pedro Acosta to pinch the record for the youngest MotoGP winner off Marc Marquez, and it looks like he might just have a pretty good go at it. 2024, it's going to be a great year for MotoGP. We've got potential race winners littered everywhere throughout the field. Enea Bastianini is back on form, Digia is proving his speed from the second half of 23 is no fluke, Bez will undoubtedly be stronger once he has more time with his GP23. Alex Marquez will also be contesting for wins and podiums again, you can be sure, and you never quite know when Maverick Vinales will produce a moment of magic. Yamaha's Quartararo and Rins will also have rides that shouldn't be possible, we're sure. Honda are stronger and will only get stronger too once more updates come through the pipeline. And don't forget about Franco Morbidelli. A quietly impressive weekend for a rider that's only had a couple hours of seat time on his new bike. Let us know in the comments what your predictions for 2024 are after seeing how it all played out under the lights at round 1 in Qatar, because right now it's a little bit too close to call. We'll see you in Portimao.
If you can't get enough MotoGP, click here to subscribe.